All right, welcome to Rock Vegas, everybody. This is Glenn Rockney. Got Matt Fallon with me today. Trent Brown's gone. I'll just say it. Trent Brown's gone. He was traded for a Trent Brown and a 7th 2022. I always laugh when they include one of those.
I don't know why the Raiders always have to throw a pick in.
Yeah, they're like it's almost like giving somebody like a complimentary like store bag for their item when you leave the store. Like, no, take our bag for free. It's on the house. And you're like, what? All right, sure. Yeah. And they do that. So the 7th round Trent Brown and a 2022 7th round pick for a 2022 5th round pick from the New England Patriots. So Trent Brown goes back with Belichick. Why do I feel like he's going to be healthy all of a sudden? And second, your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, me and you've been talking for months how like the offensive line is not a strength on this team. So I think like a lot of people are enamored by the idea of having 5 legitimate offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. There's like one team in football that does right now. There's very few teams that have a 5. Like the line play in the NFL right now is terrible. Mm-hmm. And Trent Brown didn't play. So, I mean, the Raiders didn't really lose anybody that contributed to them the last couple of years. The idea of Trent Brown, him and Colton Miller being the lockdown tackles is good. But the idea, it's just an idea. And like the Raiders, I mean, everyone wants to be so quick to get on that and call it one of the worst signings in team history. No, the idea was right. You solidify your.
He was good. Line. He was good. Yeah, he was good. He was hurt, and I'll say it right here, the team almost killed him.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you don't even get me started on
They almost killed him in the locker room before a game.
The stands of the fan base, fan base, like they want to just bash this guy, and you know he didn't put I mean, it goes both ways. Like, you know, you got these like mouthpieces now for the organization, you know, who are like, you know, this is all Trent Brown's fault. Like, it's not. Mm-mm. It's 100% not just on him. He had lazy issues in San Francisco, and that's why they traded him. Mm-hmm. So you go and you decide, okay, cool. It's the first day of free agency. We're going to sign this left tackle from the Patriots, and we're going to sign him to a record deal to play right tackle. Mm-hmm. So not only like I'm so sick and fucking tired.
That's what we do.
I'm so sick and tired of signing these guys and switching their fucking positions. Mm-hmm. Like sign a goddamn safety and play him at safety.
No.
Sign a nickel corner and play him at nickel corner. No. Sign a right tackle and play him at right tackle. Yeah. That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're a hell of a bass player. Why don't you come play drums for me? And they're like, I'm not that good at drumming. They're like, I'll pay you twice what you made. Oh,
I'll pay you double. Yeah. I'll pay you double to do it poorly. Like LaMarcus Joyner, if you said, okay, cool, we're signing him to play slot corner, which they did. Give him slot corner money.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Like, don't play him to be a safety.
Yeah.
You know, like Brian Poole for the Jets. He's been like, they suck, but he's been like a decent slot corner the last couple of years. He was making like $2 million last year, and he's like the top 5 slot corner in football. It's like, here we're gonna pay Namdi, you know, $20 million, and we're gonna play him at wide receiver. You know, just like typical Raiders.
It's ridiculous. But Trent Brown was good, first of all. And I remember there was that clip that I saw put up. It was I can't remember who shared it. Somebody big was just like, this was the 2019 Raiders offseason, where it was Mike Mayock's first offseason. And then it goes Antonio Brown trade, Trent Brown signing, Tyrell Williams, bunch of money, LaMarcus Joyner, and then the 3 first-round picks that they
used. And then like Vaughn Burfict and all them little I hate when they throw those.
Those are the 1-year deal. Yeah. And not even that. It's just like, one, Trent Brown, I don't think it was a bad signing. I still, even the fact that they switched him to right tackle, he was a damn good right tackle. So it's like, it still was very good. I still think top 5 in the league as far as right tackles.
The idea was right. That's it. Like
when he played, he was fantastic. And then you like, I'm sorry, I still make the AB trade. I still do it every time. I still 100%, do it. 100%. Yeah, so I will say, and I'm a huge critic of Mayock and Gruden. Like, I will say, like, when it goes bad, when one thing goes bad for the Raiders, a lot of people do just throw like every other thing that they did at it and be like, this sucked too. And it's like, all right.
Well, like Joyner's bad because you changed his position. That's
terrible.
On you.
Terrible.
Like, you know, drafting Lynn Bowden in the 3rd round and then changing his position and blaming it on COVID. That's bad. Like, it's, you know, like I don't know why you always have to change positions for these guys. Mm-hmm. Go draft a running back, you know, Zach Moss, you know, whatever. Draft somebody that plays the position.
But yeah, so for right tackle, and we do have some mailbag questions, but I don't believe these were in there. So we'll get to that with right tackle. The reason I didn't want to exactly move on from Trent Brown, and it looks like it was going to happen either way. We did kind of talk about, well, maybe the bridge is burned, maybe it's not up to the Raiders at that point even. But the only thing like we said, you can replace guards. You can replace guards. I think they will. There's a bunch. Kevin Zeitler released today. Guys like that get released. It might happen. I think you can plug and play those guys better. There's even a couple guys in house, which you'd like to see maybe get a look in camp. But right tackle's tough because I think you almost got to go. Your top 3 picks, one of them has to be a right tackle this year, I think.
Yeah.
Unless, yeah, should it exactly. Or with the Brandon Parker pick, if you were going, just don't draft 2 left tackles in 2018. And then with another thing, we're asking him to play right tackle. It was a disaster. He filled in for Miller last year. It wasn't a disaster. It was like, okay, yeah, you know why? Because he plays left tackle. Like,
some guys are suited better for, and like some of them just can't switch.
It's a completely different like moving. It's not the same as throwing left-handed and right-handed, but to some guys it does feel that different. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, and some guys can do it do both and no problem. But it's just, occasionally you get a guy that's it.
Not everyone's Khalif Barnes. Not everyone's the legendary Khalif Barnes. Yeah.
Guy gets a bad rap, man.
Well, yeah, it's because his damage was always done pre-snap. He would fucking false start every time.
Kwame Harris or Kwame Brown.
The Stanford guy. Yeah, when the Niners took him high, I remember. Yeah. Oh, elite. Cooper Carlisle. What I don't know. Samson.
Yeah, but see, my thing with Brown, like me and you had this idea for months that they're gonna have 3 offensive line. Like, first off, I was not upset about Gabe Jackson at all. No. Like, I figured, so I posted 10 minutes ago. I'm like Zeitler it's probably going to cost half at this point. And he did, they were Minnesota was paying him what we paid Gabe, but he's probably going to cost half. And
both of them will cost half. Both of them will
cost a higher grade than Gabe did last year, and Gabe, people they get enamored by this, it was a good pick. It was a good draft pick.
Great pick.
But guess what, dude? Every team has good draft picks. And the fact that it's a Raiders good draft pick, they get special loyalty from the fan base because we don't have very many of them. So it's like, okay, we're cutting one of our last good draft picks. Well, you know what? We need more. We need more good draft picks.
And it's, I'm sorry, he's been on the team for a while. He got a second deal. All right, that's
he can't run block.
No, he can't even run. Yeah, he can't run. That's the thing.
But last year, he was just getting all 5 of them were just getting obliterated on the snap. So it's I think Gruden sees that too. He wants to be that run first offense. And in the beginning of the season, they were. And last year they were, and when they were winning, they were running off of play action, running the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And then when the run game starts to struggle, you really see the flaws for Gruden and the flaws for Carr start to come out. Because they need it. And most good quarterbacks need a run game. Most, I would say Mahomes, he doesn't need a run game. Aaron Rodgers has one, but he doesn't really need one. And but they still have they still established that, and the Raiders just were unable to do that with that offensive line. So I'm not mad about it. Trent Brown included.
Yeah, so we'll get to some more team building stuff. So I'll start with the mailbag stuff here, only because some of these questions kind of overlap with what we wanted to talk about, anyways. So first question we got from Maki Mak says, why do you think we keep having a problem with players wanting out of this franchise? It's got to be more than just losing. AB was crazy, but Trent and Gabe and Feliciano's comments. Did Gabe say anything?
No. Feliciano was talking for Gabe, and I think Gabe hasn't said a word.
No.
So that one's kind of a stretch. I think when anybody that gets fired from their job. Or Trent Brown, he almost died, and the Raiders did that, and he was getting bad mouth. See, Gruden's very opinionated, and when these guys are injured, he says shit to the media. And these are grown men. You have to remember, these are grown ass men. So you go to the media and you talk about, well, the best availability is available, or the best ability is availability, and these guys, Trent Brown needs to show up.
Yeah,
and Well, he's a grown ass man. So that could feel like he's getting belittled by the coach in front of the whole media and fan base, maybe. But then, other guys like Feliciano, he didn't get a contract when Gruden got here, so he's a little bitter. I don't ever see anybody there's plenty of people that they talk good about Gruden. and there's plenty of people that don't, and he's got a volatile personality. So like, I think it's a combo of like the fact that he's
plus
very volatile and he's quick trigger.
And plus though, it's like, it's kind of, here's the reason why players, this is gonna be a real scientific answer that I give you here. The reason that people are always trying to get the hell out of here is because we suck. And it is before Gruden, before that. I mean, it hasn't been a good franchise. We haven't been winning. I will say, guys like getting paid, but after a couple years of getting paid, they're probably like, fuck, this team sucks. You know, like, and after a while, they're like, look, I've made 21 mil off this team. I'm down to make half of that if there's a competent franchise. And I'm sorry, it's just, even if whether it's a Gruden personality thing or not, just, it's not winning football.
I think it's a combo of both.
Now. Yeah, for sure.
Like you have this coach that's like, he gives the impression that they are this winning team, and like you're joining this culture of this team that is winning. And you know what, we're 7-9 for the third straight season. So it's like, you know, he gives this like, you know, my way or the highway attitude. So I don't know, man. There's something's got to change, and I think everybody knows that. I think Gruden's aware of that. Yeah. I think Mayock's aware of that. There's like they tried so hard to build this culture. And just go get good players, as you and I have always. I'm gonna get a shirt that says "Just get good players," you know, because that's it. It's simple. I don't give a shit anymore if somebody you know got in a fight in college when they were 17 or 18. You know, like I don't care. Go draft the best player available. You know, whatever. And like the lazy thing with Trent Brown, like he was lazy in San Francisco. He was not lazy in New England because people aren't lazy around Belichick and Brady.
No, he can't be. Yeah. And he was playing. He was getting a second chance, and he came in the league. People don't realize it's a bit different when you come in the league as a 6th round pick out of Florida. He was not a high pick. He was like a day 3 pick when the Niners picked him. When you're coming in the league there, and then you get your second chance with a guy like Belichick, you're gonna be on your P's and Q's. I'm sorry, like it's like when your parents send you to military school. Like you're gonna fucking get through that, even if you don't end up learning anything from it. You're just gonna try to survive there. But then he got paid, and again, I would have done it again. It's fine. It's totally fine. It was a fucked up ass year last year. I think just so bad that it burned. And like maybe there's something to say about Gruden where maybe there's damage control when the relationship is frayed. He's kind of got that Al Davis in him where there's no bringing it back. And
don't say that. Like that's perfect example. But like, see, like he like Marky Mark asked, about these players, like one thing is he came in, he tore it down. He tore the whole team apart. They just, like in Feliciano's mind, they went 12-4, 2 years ago, and Gruden comes in and just tears the whole team apart, cuts all his friends.
Yeah.
So it's, there's different things there. And I don't think there's this like animosity towards the Raiders they still do. Like you said, they suck and they still have to overpay for free agents. And you notice that they don't get team friendly deals. Nobody's taking a pay cut to come play there.
Exactly. Remember when they moved to Vegas, and I bought into it a little bit, and I'm not saying it doesn't factor in at all, but people are like, dude, moving to Vegas, no state income tax, everyone's going to want to sign with us now. I'm like, stop trying to get around the point that you have to be a good franchise that wins to attract these top players. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying top players like guys like Byron Jones, who obviously wanted the highest payday that he got. Miami gave him the highest payday. Yeah, guys like that. Those are good players, but I'm talking about the guys that you can get to come in on like a 2-year, like JJ Watt. They said JJ Raiders were in the mix for it. I don't think JJ Watt would have even looked at this franchise. I'm sorry. I know Arizona's not exactly a top tier franchise, and he was looking to get paid, but they've had a fucking winning season before. They had a winning season last year. Like they're closer.
And they have they have a lot of pieces.
Yeah,
they have a lot more. And it's even deeper than that. It's like you have guys like Leonard Fournette, who people are like, come in and back up Josh Jacobs. No, he goes to Tampa. He's going to back up Ronald Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually he was the starter. But it's like, he wanted to win right now. Yeah. It's not like a big free agent signing, but when you're looking at those fringe guys, if the Raiders wanted Fournette last offseason when he got cut, they were going to have to pay him.
Yeah.
$5 million to come be the backup. So it's different than you're not going to get those veterans that are going for that last Super Bowl ring. Yeah. That are going for the first playoff. It's you're not going to get those guys. So that's it'll happen eventually. But you saw that when they started winning, when they won a bunch in 2000 with Del Rio, they went and signed a bunch of people that offseason. it didn't work out, but they still, like, Lynch came out of retirement to play with us. Like there was all kinds of like, people were thinking Raiders are going to the Super Bowl the next season. So they started getting these veterans that wanted to come in and have one last chance.
Yeah.
So I think that'll all change eventually. But like to answer his question simply, like you said, they suck.
You have to win. You have to win. It sucks. And not win a Super Bowl. You just got to show that you can get to the fucking playoffs. Like just show like, okay, we're going to play in January. We're going to play a game in January. And
not go 2-6 every November and December.
Yeah. Cause I bet it's fun. I bet it's fun when they win with Gruden. I bet it's fun. I just don't know if it's going to happen. Like I could see why players would like that, but yeah. Anyways, next question. Gus Gare, the Trent Brown deal was it a bigger W for the Patriots or a bigger L for Vegas? Also, do you think the OL changes are because of lack of production versus cap hit? Oh, he's saying, is it for production
cap
or the cap?
For
sure. Yeah. All right, for sure. Yeah, a little bit of both there. But the last part of the question, or just one we haven't really hit on. Do you also think it's something that, is it more of that they see a deep O-line class in the draft? Maybe why they're making all this room on the line. I've
touched on that before.
Yeah. I think they're going to hit it hard. I think they are. They've done a good job. One thing I can say that the Raiders have done, they've brought in quality offensive linemen under Gruden.
Over the last, even way back to Reggie McKenzie when they brought in Roger Saffold and failed this physical, like they were still trying to get the top available guard that year. So every year for the last
Austin Howard was solid. Like guys, they do a good job at that. So I'm fine if they do. I saw you posting Rashawn Slater earlier, like electric.
He's not going to be there.
He won't be there, but a guy like my thing is maybe you trade back in the first round. It'd be the first time under Mayock you do it, but you trade back in the first round and maybe a Taven Jenkins is there, maybe a
Walker Little's
a big question mark, but he's fantastic. But also the guy out of Michigan, I don't hate that guy either. Mayfield.
Yeah, Jalen
Mayfield. He's a natural right tackle. So I don't. Those guys should be there back of the first round. I'd love to recoup some picks and do that, and then maybe with the picks that you recoup, you can draft a guard day 2 or even day 3 or something like that. I do think they like this offensive line class. Everybody does. Like it's going to be.
It's like it's off the hook. Why would you? Like it's
like the wide receiver class last year. Like yeah,
and it's one of those things. So he had a 2-part thing where I will say it is a money thing always. Mm-hmm. Like if the Raiders, if they were paying Gabe Jackson $2 million, Gabe Jackson, he would be a Raider
easily.
If they were paying Incognito the veteran minimum, he would have been a Raider still. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that he's probably going to come back. So if he does, it fills one hole, but you still need a younger guy there. Like you need a younger guy there just in case Incognito goes out in the first week again. So I think that to answer that question, the production from the offensive line, they looked good in the pass game, but they were probably bottom 5 in the run game.
Oh yeah.
So it's a combination of both. It's money and it's production. So they got $30 million tied up in 3 offensive linemen, and 2 of them basically played a combined 5 games.
Yeah.
So it's both. But then also you to answer your, to come off of what you just said, right tackle, I absolutely am drafting one. Yeah. I don't care who I sign. Mm-hmm. Whatever. I'm drafting one in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, you want 5 years of somebody out of this class. You want 5 years out of them at a cheap deal.
Deep. It's deep. So in round 2, though, you can get, a Walker Little maybe if he falls. You can get, whatever. Mm-hmm. Then, guards, dude, I've been saying for years, you get these guards all the time. When they got Incognito, they got him off the scrap heap for $2 million.
Kyle Long's coming back. You think don't think for a second that John Gruden is not going to try to get Kyle Long in this building. Checks every box of something John Gruden would get a rock hard erection for, dude, is somebody like Kyle Long. Yeah. Raider family connection.
Yeah, that's
good in the past. Yeah, good. Yeah, no, he's flipping over his desk with it. It's like it's insane. Like he's gonna. You have the Howie Long connection. You have, man, all that stuff. Good. I mean, he's good. And they say he's in great shape right now, playing at 315 right now without playing or doing any of that. So that's a good weight. And
I feel like I've posted it 50 times already this offseason. This has Gruden written all over it. Mm-hmm. Someone joked, they're like, "You have that on your clipboard, don't you?" I just click it.
Yeah,
because like there's like about 5 or 6 free agent like guys that have been cut the last couple of days. Then I'm just like, Gruden's gonna sign this guy, isn't he?
Any tight end,
like,
any tight end,
any tight end. Dude,
yeah,
Kyle Rudolph is going to get the goal line fades, and everyone's going to be pissed off. Just get ready for it, dude.
Yeah,
they do have a need there. Like they do need a third tight end now.
Yeah, it just,
you know.
Yeah,
but Carrier's a free agent, you know, so like they will sign one. I guarantee it. So.
Yeah, I agree. And so next one, this is another O-line question. I do still think this is a good something to build off of. So this is from Aaron Targaryen, and he says, did the Raiders pigeonhole themselves into taking a right tackle at 17, or do you see them addressing it some other way? Like you said, take one. Maybe not at 17. Doesn't have to be. I prefer to trade back unless I like Darisaw a lot. Christian Darisaw. I'm actually a pretty big fan. Virginia Tech guy. I like him. I still think some of these guys, a lot of teams want left tackles. So you have to realize you're still guys like Jack Conklin, I remember, was the right tackle that went really early, but a lot of times those guys are still there right by 17, some of the top ones. So
yeah, I'd like more like in the second too. I mean,
yeah, but this year I think they're going to go higher. They're just good. I think they're really good. Like last year, look at that right tackle class last year. Those guys were fucking ballers, man. Jedrick Wills, Tristan Wirfs. I have a fucking annoying ass Jets fan that always chirps at me and goes, "Wow, aren't you mad that you guys took Henry Ruggs instead of Tristan Wirfs?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, we thought we had a right tackle last year." And
yeah.
And by the way, one of the few bright and shining moments of Henry Ruggs' rookie season was against the Jets. So fuck off. That was also what I said. So, but
I was more mad that like they didn't make CD, but that's just because I liked him. And that's not part of the question. But I think so. As far as like being pigeonholed, the Raiders seem to do that to themselves. We've talked about that before. Like last year, every single person in the world knew they were taking one of those 3 wide receivers. Yep. And then when it came to 19, pretty much everybody knew they were going corner. So I do not think that this is as drastic as that. Like the Raiders they didn't have any corners on the roster that could have started. Like they don't have anybody. They don't currently have a right tackle on the roster, but like there's plenty of options like before the draft. It's a tough question to answer right now because like if they re-sign Denzel Good, like I've talked about the fact that they might play him at right tackle. I know that that's a hang up in his contract right now, is that like he thinks he can get paid right tackle money.
Yeah, but he
wasn't as good as right tackle.
He's not good at right tackle. Yeah,
yeah. I agree. Yeah. But it seems like something Gruden might do. Yeah. So I think it just depends on like how they attack free agency, and then you have like you don't have to take a right tackle in the first round. If there's the best ones available, you take them and you're happy. So like the pigeonhole thing is like, it's tough because like when you got to 19, you didn't have the best corner in the draft available anymore. Right. You had a couple of ones that were better than Arnett, but that's beside the point again. But like at number 12, you got your pick of the best wide receiver.
Yeah.
So
they might pigeonhole themselves. That's like you're saying. They knew last year, no matter what, they were going to take Henry Ruggs. Last year, no matter what, they were going to take Damon Arnett. And I think there is going to be one tackle, especially in this class. I won't blame them for falling in love with the tackle class. I just hope it's not like I hope it's no, exactly. What I hope it is it's not like with somehow Christian Darisaw on the board, somehow Rayshawn Slater gas mask bong video emerges and he's there at 17, but then they're like Jalen Mayfield. He's a leader. I like him. We're going to take him. That's what I hope they don't do in this draft. Pigeonhole yourself into taking the best right tackle. I have no problem with that. Just don't pigeonhole yourself into that one guy that you could probably get with your next pick.
You've been reaching on guys for the past 3 seasons to get leaders in the locker room, and you have a locker room that's screaming at each other after the Miami Dolphins game. You got a guy that's overweight, pissed off at the coach, and wants to get traded to the Patriots, and you go sign Jason Witten to be a leader. Why do you have to go sign Jason Witten to be a leader, but when you drafted all these leaders?
Yeah.
Stop drafting leaders and draft good football players.
Exactly.
That's it. I'm gonna get a shirt of that. It's gonna say, "Don't draft team captains, draft good football players."
I'm telling you, it's instead of just win, baby, just draft good football players, baby. Yeah. Like this just
like you can go back to a decade with the Raiders drafting bad football players, but I'm saying like the last couple of years, it's been just pretty obvious to everybody like who they should take, and they don't. And taking like Tanner Muse in the 3rd round because he's a leader and a special teams war daddy, and he's literally like a waste of a pick.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
they're gonna do that with the Trent Brown 5th rounder they get next year. It's gonna be like the Temple special teams player of the year. Like
guy
he's
blind in one eye. He's a good leader.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Next one from Jim, Forever Slump. Should the Raiders target Juju? I like this one. I like this question.
We've talked about it.
I like Juju. I think he would eat in this fucking offense. I'll tell you right now, a lot of fans, I'm gonna call out some fans right now. A lot of fans don't like him because they think he's gay.
Yeah.
A lot of people think he's like Jackson Mahomes. Like a lot of people think that's what they're doing is that they're signing him to play. It's like, first off, even if he's gay, you and I talk about Odell doing all that stuff. I don't give a fuck. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah.
The one thing I would get,
do
whatever
you want, dude.
Yeah. Hey, and it's Vegas. What happens there stays there is what I've been told. And but anyways, Juju is good. My problem is I would only do it if Juju whiffs on the first wave, because this year is going to be weird with free agency. Like guys get big money, and they're not.
No, like the wide receiver free agent class is like unreal.
Yeah.
Like this is like there's positions in free agency every year that get overpaid. Like when we paid for Tyrell Williams, that free agent class sucked. He was the best one.
Yeah.
Okay. You got the best guy, so you overpaid for him. Like last year, like the linebacker class, it was like Littleton and Nick were like the only ones. We overpaid for both of them. And like you get to a point where you have like one, that everybody needs offensive tackles. So like the one free agent offensive tackle is always going to get overpaid.
Right.
But wide receivers this year, there's like 5 to 6 number 1 guys. There's like a bunch of number 2s. Like John Brown got cut today.
Yeah.
He can instantly come in and start on like 20 teams.
Mm-hmm.
You have guys like that. Sanders is pretty washed, but he got cut today.
I don't hate that either. I would not hate him.
Aguilar is not getting big money. So I really do think he's going to end up coming back because he's not going to get paid.
Yeah.
And if he does, good for him. Like goes and takes a 1-year, $10 million deal somewhere. But like you have guys like up and down, like Will Fuller, Galladay.
Yeah.
Then you got like Marvin Jones, AJ Green. Like there's free agent wide receivers like up the yin yang this year. Yeah. And then you got guys like that I think are decent, like Kendrick Bourne, who like could be pretty good.
Tim
somewhere.
Patrick, isn't Tim Patrick a free agent?
Yeah, he's a good player. Of guys. Well, there's like a lot of guys. Like the Raiders don't need to break the bank on a wide receiver. Yeah. So if Juju's going to cost $12 million,
hell no.
I don't want anything to do with it. If he's going to cost $7 million, sign me up.
Sign me up. So 3 years, $7 million. Yeah. So
to answer his question, depends on the value because I think there's a lot of value out there this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather sign Marvin Jones if it's going to cost $6-7 million.
Yeah,
but
either one.
Short term out. You know what I mean? Not like I want to sign Marvin Jones for 5 years, but like I think he fits that position that Crabtree played for Carr.
Right.
Like red zone target. Like so, I think that one thing I want to do this year is focus on the needs and then not like you said, don't get carried away with the first day. And people are going to get upset when all these guys are signing and what are the Raiders doing? Every year, it's the same thing. Then when they have a big year, when they sign a bunch of guys on the first day and they end up cutting them 2 years later, you're all going to be pissed off again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they did. They signed Tyrell Williams, Trent Brown, LaMarcus Joyner all on the first day. And everybody's like, good off season, great off season, guys, because they spent a bunch of money. It's not always good.
No, 100%. And this year, especially with the way the cap is, the NFL's in like slightly bit of a quote unquote recession because of last year. The cap went down a little bit. I think there's players that are prepared to sit out there on the market a little bit longer too. I don't think it's going to be a bit different. I think it's set at 182.5 mil.
182.5 today.
182.5. And wasn't it like 190 something last year? Or was it?
Yeah, so it's 16 million lower than it was last year.
That's considerable. That's considerable. So you're going to see, again, you noticed everybody signed their franchise tag. There wasn't one report of a guy going like, fuck that, I'm not playing on the franchise tag. You know why? Because they got to wait a year before the NFL gets its money back to up the salary cap a little bit. So like I said, play the long game. I like last year signing Marcus Mariota day one of free agency. Didn't have to happen. To happen.
Could have got Winston like 7 months later.
Cam. I mean, anybody. I know Cam wasn't great, but like it's your backup quarterback. I'm just saying you paid Marcus Mariota an exorbitant amount of money to play well in one game.
To hold the clipboard.
And play well in one game like that you still lost. So it's like, not a big deal. But anyways, Next one is I like this question a lot too. This one is Anunnaki Flow, No Limit of the West. Should we get a safety in the draft or free agency?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a broad question because I think that the Raiders are going to do both again. I think, okay, number one, you don't have one, like you can say whatever you want. You love Jonathan Abram. I know a lot of fans do. You don't have one starting safety right now. You technically really have zero. So, like I've posted earlier, Kenny Vaccaro got cut from the Titans. Vaccaro. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, no, yeah. I know you're talking about.
Somebody roasted me on Twitter about that the other day, but JT the Brick at least knows how to announce names.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, because he's gargling them all the time.
Jesus. All right, hey, tough guy. Hey, you like to run your mouth, tough guy?
Yeah, but I'm gonna fly you out right now.
Yeah.
So, but like Kenny Vaccaro got cut today, and he was a starting strong safety for the Titans last year. Now, they're like, well, we have Abram. Why would you bring him? Well, I'm bringing somebody in to compete with Abram
because he's the worst. He was rated the worst safety in football last year. That's why
I'm signing 3 safeties, okay, or drafting a combination of 3.
Yeah,
I don't want Eric Harris anywhere near the football team.
Nope.
I don't want to have to see Levitt. You re-sign him, he plays special teams. That's fine. I don't want him anywhere on the field. Okay. I don't want to sign any more white safeties.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm with you.
Like, they were the only team in NFL history to have 3 white DBs on the roster. Absolutely absurd.
Yeah, that was back when actually, like the time to have white safeties on your football team were when you actually had to work at the chip factory and be a free safety in the NFL. Not both. Not the guy that worked at the potato chip factory. Then you sign him to become your safety. Like back then, you had to have 2 jobs when that was relevant.
Eric Harris had that 3 interception game, and like everybody's just like the coaches just got enamored by him. And like it's like, dude, Philip Rivers thought he was on his team.
Yeah, Philip Rivers Philip Rivers thought he was one of his kids.
Yeah, he's like, here you go, Eric.
He's like, I have 3 kids named Eric, but
I just wanted to get 1 for each kid, like
exactly.
You see Eric on a pick,
Yeah, but for what he was saying, there is kind of a positional value thing. Like I said it with you last time you were on. Like safeties don't go high in the draft anymore unless there's like a clear Jamal Adams, a clear Derwin James, guys that are just top 10 no matter what prospects. But nowadays you don't see that position high. A lot of those guys are like, you don't know if they're slot, if they're safety at the next level. A lot of it's scheme dependent. So a lot of guys are sitting there in the second round. So I would like to bring in a veteran. I'd like to draft and bring in a veteran, but the Raiders only have 6, 7 picks right now. So it's a bit,
Trent Brown
but yeah, you can bring like Javon Curse. There's guys like that out there you can bring in. Trey Boston, Gus Bradley connection. Do that. If I'm taking somebody high though, and I think that's what he's referring to in here, because when you say taking the draft, usually they mean within the first 3 picks.
He said pick 17, I think.
No, he just said, should we address it in the free agency or the draft is what he said. But usually when people say the draft, with the draft, they usually mean your first 3 picks. That's usually what people mean. I mean, no one cares what you do with your 6th round pick. So what I would do is I do value corners a bit more earlier in the draft. I think it's when you can find premium coverage corners, like if a Greg Newsome is there somehow in the 2nd round, like I'm all over that.
It's 13 at 17. I'm
jumping on it. I'm not Trayvon Mullen and Damon Arnett are not enough for me to be like, no, we have 2 lockdown corners. And plus you need 3, at least 3 against Mahomes. So
I'll put make Damon Arnett a slot corner.
That's what people are saying. Something, or just, hey, maybe he's your backup. Like it's fine. Like it's not a big deal. Like it sucks that you use the pick on him so high, but what if you just have a stable of good corners? So I do value corner over safety early, but yeah, you got to bring in a few safeties. They need to revamp the whole thing. Abram's going to get another year. Of course he is, but he's going to be a safety that like at a position nobody else really plays. Like I think he's going to be hovering around the line of scrimmage a lot more. I think he's going to be used. They're going to use him the way the Seahawks use Jamal Adams is what I think they're going to do. I think
they might have 3 safeties on the field sometimes too. And they might have, he's playing that outside linebacker spot, blitzing a lot.
Yeah.
They tried that at the end of the year last year. They had him blitzing a lot.
It wasn't terrible.
And he didn't get there. Like he got there a couple times late, but like he jumped offside twice and sacked the quarterback twice.
Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that strategy might be the best for his career.
Mm-hmm.
again, like you said, with Arnett and Mullen, like, or if Arnett has to go to the bench, sorry, you wasted a pick, right?
Yeah, or he's just a solid contributor, or I just something. So yeah, I don't know.
You get better.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, for me, bring it. It doesn't really matter to me. I just don't take a safety high. I don't want them to take. I love Trayvon Moehrig. Don't take him at 17. I'm sorry, you just don't have to.
I don't think he's going to go that high. I think
no, but what would be the team that did it if they fell in love with him? It'd be the Raiders.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
It can't be the Raiders. Take Carl Joseph number.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, like, guys you can get with that second round pick. That's classic Raiders. So that's all I mean. Don't get pigeonholed into it. Do it if he's there in the second round. He's not. If not, guess what? There's another good safety that you can take. Don't fall in love with that one guy. Like, that's what they do every single year. But next question. Hi, Sean 808 Hawaii represent.
No, skip this one.
Yeah, I can't even read it. It's poorly worded. I don't even know. But no, JJ, I'm assuming he means Josh Jacobs, not JJ Nelson. But Josh Jacobs is good, but his running style doesn't lend well for his health. Running game struggled last year. Backup running back is critical. Who do you like? You and I talked about it not long ago, but maybe you got some new things. I agree, though. I agree we need a solid backup running back, but it does not require a big investment.
No, there's a ton of backup running backs available. A lot of guys on the market this year, because you have your main guys like Kenyon Drake and Aaron Jones. They're going to get paid by somebody to start. But then you have a bunch of guys that are, like Mike Davis and Chris Carson isn't getting tagged by Seattle. I don't think anybody's going to pay him big money. You could see a guy like that maybe come in and be like a two-headed monster. Like promise him people say they don't do it, but you can promise them, hey, you're going to get 10 carries a game. Like, he was in a committee in Seattle and he never seemed to have a problem with it.
No, but he was a 7th round pick, so maybe it was, something like that.
And the draft has the draft has good running backs every year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use any pick higher than a 4th rounder myself.
Agreed.
The Raiders, they haven't prioritized that position a bunch. They go sign Devontae Booker and they get a little production out of him. But like a Chris Carson would be like my dream. But then, like, realistically, like a Mike Davis would be ideal, like, if you were going to go cheap, because he did well in place of McCaffrey, and that's like, somebody who could take 5, 7, 8 carries and
I love Mike Davis. Yeah, I love Mike Davis. Yeah. Him or Chris Carson. Him or Chris Carson would really excite me if they brought either of those two guys in, because Chris Carson's big thing was getting injured. So I think he could put up numbers getting 10 carries a game.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's going to break the bank because of the injuries. So.
No, I don't think so either. And just the fact that James Conner is going to get some money, I think he's still going to get he's not great, but I think somebody's going to give him $4 million a year, and Kenyon, I don't know if I agree with you on Kenyon Drake. I feel like I think he's going to be one of those guys where it's going to be like, why hasn't anyone still signed this guy? For whatever reason,
could be,
because I still think he's one of those. He's not like a traditional back. I don't know. I like him a lot though. Like, I actually think it'd be pretty cool to have a home run hitter like that coming out of the backfield.
I brought Connor up last time, and I think like he's another guy. Like, I mean, the Raiders are spending $4 million on Jalen Richard. So
gone, please. Tomorrow. That was one I was waiting to see that. Like, please, let's create more space by getting rid of him. And so you're right. But yeah, I'm with you. I'd rather do it in free agency. I don't necessarily need to spend a pick on it. That's not something I have to do. But there are some guys, Javonte Williams. Those guys are good. Michael Carter, but those guys will be there before I want to pick them. Those guys will be picked before I want to use a pick, basically.
Najee, those will all be like first or second rounders.
Exactly. So next one from Raider Mike. Who do you see that can step up and be a leader on defense? Anyone on the roster right now, or what free agent should we target that could fill that role?
I saw that question. I like that question.
No, first off, do not sign fucking leaders. I'm sorry. Like, I just sign guys that contribute. Yeah. Second of all, what about the 4th overall pick that you drafted for, let me check my notes, leadership, Cleveland Furl in 2019? I'm not even saying this to make fun of Raider Mike. I'm saying for the Raiders, because they keep drafting guys to be leaders, but you don't see the C on Cleveland Furl's chest right now.
Yeah.
Devin White has a C on his chest. Does he not?
Yeah, he does. He's good. And he's good.
Okay, the guy we passed on. Yeah.
You know what happens with good football players? People fucking listen to them. You know,
Khalil Mack. Do you remember when Khalil Mack?
Leader.
Yeah. I remember Khalil Mack. They used to be like, yeah, he doesn't say a goddamn thing, but everyone respects him. It's like, yeah, because you know what? Yeah, because he's a psychotic fucking football player, defensive end. He's a beast. Like,
yeah,
and all he's got to do is say one thing every so often, and everyone's like, hell yeah, you know. And
I think to answer Mike's question though, you know, like it's like, you know, on the team right now, clearly the Raiders don't have a ton of leadership.
I know,
like, based on all the reports, right? However, I think like a guy like Crosby, who's going into year 3, and he's a productive football player who's been there for 3 seasons, he can, you know, step up and do that. And it's going to change under Gus Bradley. Like, I think, like, I don't think Gunther was a very good football coach. I don't think Bradley's crazy good, but I think he's better. And I think that, like, you know, go get like one guy from, I don't want to do what we did with Gunther, where it was always like, we're going to go get these Gunther guys. That fit his system. Like, you need guys that fit the system. But like, you know, the Raiders are all about fitting Gunther's system, but Carlos Dunlap falls on your lap. And it's like, okay, cool. We don't need any more Gunther guys. We're good with Reggie Nelson and Vontaze Burfict and, like, you know, whatever. But I do think that, like, you know, it's get good football players, and like naturally they will become leaders. Number one. Number two, you have guys that are going to year 3, Mullen, Crosby, who are good, who can step up and take that role. And then, you know, go sign like one guy that was in Bradley's system that could be a leader. I don't want Richard Sherman, but like I'm talking like
Trey Boston.
If you wanted to, you know, if Melvin Ingram's come up a couple times, like I wouldn't hate it. It's not my number one choice.
Wait on him.
Can he come in and be a leader? Maybe, you know. So I think ultimately what it comes down to, and my roundabout way of answering that question is, the Raiders lack leadership from top to bottom. And for them to have leadership on the field, I think they need to have leadership off the field. So they need Gruden to step up as a leader, and he needs to be a better football coach this season. Follow the protocols. Fucking be a good coach. You know, like, don't go in the media and make a bunch of excuses when you lose, because you know what's going to happen is the players are going to make excuses. The week after Gruden goes and makes a bunch of excuses about losing, Carr goes on and tells fans who have been fans for 25 years and watched a bunch of crap on this fucking TV that they need to enjoy a 3-point miracle win over the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you not entertained? He did the fucking gladiator.
I don't even blame Carr. Like, I'm like, you know what? Like, he's doing exactly what his head football coach does. People want to, you know, bash on Carr or whatever. He says the same thing that Gruden does every time.
Yeah. And that's why Gruden loves him.
But like, dude, the leadership needs to be off. The coach needs to start with the coaching staff, and it bleeds into the players. Like when they had Buckner there, those defensive linemen loved him. And they might not be the most talented group, but they have leaders and they're playing hard.
Yeah.
And you know, and then now you fire him and you go hire your buddy, and now all of a sudden none of those guys feel like playing hard. So I can go on about that all day, but the leadership is not the player's issue.
I have a solution. I have a solution regarding how I mentioned Cleveland Ferrell. Here's my thing. I drafted you because of your intangibles, right? I drafted you because you were a very professional football player, stopped the run first, great, whatever. Picked you over a lot of guys. They even said it themselves, picked them over some guys that it was a surprise pick, right? We made our jokes about that. But just put the fucking, I would just stitch the captain thing on his jersey. I would stitch the captain thing on his jersey and be like, you're the captain. I would just tell him that and be like, see how you respond. Because it's like, that's what you're here to do. You're drafted here. When you take somebody, and PFF says this a lot, and I like this a lot. When you draft somebody, especially in the top 5, you think he's going to be there for 10 years. So you think you're going to draft a guy top 5, have him be there for 10 years and not lead your team at any point? I don't know. That's why I say it's not that it has to be him, but why shouldn't? Why, like, then you're so wrong in your evaluation that you couldn't even get the like intangible part of it right, where you could
you drafted him for that exact reason.
Yeah. So
I agree.
Yeah. So last question. This is from Al LaFleur. How do you think the change of scheme and coaching is going to affect our 2019 and 2020 draft picks on defense, and how will this help Corey Littleton play better? Corey, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead, dude. I was just saying that's a good question.
I do. I think so too. We hinted on it a little bit, but not with the draft, that's why I like that question a lot. Corey Littleton, I expect to actually be like night and day different this year. I'm not gonna lie. There's like, he is a good. You cannot tell me he's not a good football player.
No, I'm going to die on that hill too.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a month.
Nobody was comfortable in that scheme last year. Nobody was like, yo, this fucking scheme rocks. Like, I'm just eating up in this scheme. It's great. Everybody looked lost. Nobody was able to play fast. Like we've been saying that. Guys just haven't been able to play fast in their system. And I think Corey Littleton, one of his things is he's good at he was a great tackler and then all of a sudden couldn't tackle last year. It's just weird. He doesn't strike me as a guy. You don't hear these things that, oh, he never showed up to practice. Oh, he was overweight. You didn't hear any of this kind of stuff.
He didn't do that last year either. Like nobody ever said anything about him being lazy or anything.
No, that's what I mean. So after he got paid, so it's not a like, oh, I got paid and just chilling and stuff. It didn't see that. And once Marinelli took over, I did see him play a little bit better in those Dolphin games, those Charger games. He just looked.
Well, he said he hated. Remember, he had that interview in the midseason that was very alarming for the fan base. It's like, oh shit, our players do not respect our defensive coordinator at all.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, he said I can only do what my scheme is having me do, or something like it was something
what
like
my coaches are having me do.
Yeah. So where's the lie? I mean, you come from a guy like Wade Phillips and you go to a guy like Paul Gunther, I might respect that a little bit more, and so with that, but with the draft picks, I think is interesting. BD Williams, Marcus Johnson, they were talking about it when they did a defensive end special. I encourage everybody to go check out Tape Don't Lie. They're doing really good draft coverage right now for Raiders themed draft coverage and breaking down guys by position group. Really good stuff. I think you're going to see more Gus Bradley favor the natural pin your ears back pass rusher a lot more. I think you're going to see look, I made that fucking joke about Azeez Ojulari and all the draft fucking nerds came after me. I'm like, dude, okay,
me,
whatever.
I'm one of them. I was like,
no, not you. You were. To me, I said when he's a Cleveland Fro, I'm like, he's not going to get the fucking sacks. Is what I'm saying. That was my thing. I don't think he's going to be a high sack guy. Oh yeah, whatever. He just shows bad. I didn't see a lot of explosion on the clips I watched him. I'm not a draft guy. Whatever. Nonetheless, I don't think you're going to see him favor guys like that. And I could be wrong. Watch him take him at 17. But I think you're going to see the guys like Gregory Rousseau. Not him. But like the guys that could develop into like the Daniil Hunter type, just like athletic.
Just go get Daniil Hunter.
I mean, I would trade 17 for him today. I would do it.
Well, I would trade 17 right now. Like, we could scratch the draft. Like we'll just do that. Like I mean, I don't need to talk about it. Like go get him.
No, you fully sign up. So I'm just saying, but it's gonna change the way the guys they go after instead of these big like cinder block guys that can like move like the Mario villains and shit like left and right like and that just set the edge and can't rush and can't bend and stuff like they're gonna go after I think more athletic freaks. That's what they did in Jacksonville. That's what they did in LA. So you know what I mean? Like I think that's gonna change it. And I think cover wise you're moving a little more toward cover 3. So it changes your
pouring outside now, dude.
It's raining over here too, pretty bad. Yeah. But this is the last question, anyways. But your thoughts on that?
No. I was just heard a bunch of noise. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I think that there's two things with the way this.
I'm sorry, that noise was JT the Brick outside. Actually, he found out where you're at. Yeah,
he flew to me, huh?
Yeah,
I love that, dude. I'm gonna fly you out and I'll buy you a limo. Like,
let me just go to the airport.
He's insulting your income. Number one, like he's trying to make it sound like I got all this money. I'm JT the Brick. Number two, dude's never broke any news in his life. He does such a broad, like, you know what? The Raiders may be gearing up for a trade. And I didn't even at him or anything, dude. He searched his name. It was like 1:45 in the morning. I woke up to a bunch of notifications, dude. Like, I'm like, who are you? Not a dude named, not a grown ass man named Brick, dude.
Because he has a burner that follows. I bet he has a fucking burner that follows you.
Dude, there's so many of those. Like comments were like no picture. I'm like, that's JT for sure. He's got 10 of them.
It's TJ the Block. This account following me. But anyway,
you're a grown ass man named the Brick, dude. I'm good with my life. Now to get back to it. So the Raiders scheme last year obviously was overcomplicated, and like you got guys like Abram, and I'm not bashing him because I do it enough, but like like Kelsey's running down the middle of the field, and the game's on the line, and you decide to take the middle of the field instead of following him, right? Mm-hmm. And some of it's natural instinct. Like anybody with any natural instinct in the game of football would not have left Kelsey alone right there.
Right.
Like you would assume I'm assuming I have help, but like then same with Nixon, like falling for a double move on on the Chargers with the game on the line, right? Like that's just bad football. That has nothing to do with scheme. So but as long as like guys like Nixon aren't lining up for the football team next year, they'll improve. Now I think like the scheme overall with Bradley, like you're gonna see Like he does not blitz. So they're missing a lot of pieces on that defense for him to succeed. Like he needs people that can rush the passer. He needs a good defensive line. If he doesn't have that, you're going to see the same things that pissed you off this year. So to answer that though, I think guys like Farrell, and I think guys like, you know, he will play better in Bradley's scheme because it's not as complicated. It's get to the fucking quarterback.
And he did get some more pressures. He improved a lot in pressures last year. The coverage has to hold up for him to get home. So I think you'll see, if you see a little bit better coverage, you're going to see Clelin Ferrell not playing as a run defender, you know, just by nature on first down, where the teams clearly know you're trying to stop the run and they just throw it on you. You know, so
yeah, I do think that I do think that the biggest need for them is secondary still. And I think like go get yourself a nickel corner that is a legit nickel corner. There's a bunch of them on the market. And then get a free safety, you know, that can actually play football. And that's the most important position, right? I think in Bradley's defense right now for them to get is a free safety. Like he's always had a good one. So go get yourself a good free safety. Don't, you know, if Anthony Harris, you know, doesn't cost $15 million, sign me up. Yeah. I'm not sold on John Johnson. I think like he's a good safety, but it's like, and it's just me being jaded, I think, by like keep signing Rams defenders to come play in our shitty scheme, you know. But he's good.
Yeah, I like him. He might get the top. He might. I just don't want to go after the top safety. I don't know if you have to in free agency. I think like, you know,
do the best you can to fill each hole, but like don't overpay one guy.
Exactly. No, I'm with you. Well, shit. That's all I got, man. That's all I got. We'll definitely have some more. I'll bring you on again soon, and we'll talk.
Free agency's what on?
We'll do
today, right?
We'll do a like a wrap up after maybe the weekend free agency that it hits. We'll do like a wrap up.
Starts next Wednesday, right?
The 17th.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think that
today,
So we'll do like a free agency first wave free agency wrap up. We'll have you back on for that. But
hopefully it's good.
Yeah, or like we said, hopefully if there's, and maybe like worst case scenario, hopefully they just missed out on some guys that are probably overpaid and are playing smart with their money. Maybe we don't have much to talk about, you know. Yeah. I just don't want to be like,
okay with that though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I hope it's that and not like they gave fucking, you know, Bud Dupree $20 million. You're like, God damn it. Like, yeah, just something.
How much did they give Melvin Ingram?
Yeah. Melvin Ingram and Bud Dupree each making 15 apiece, and you have no cap space.
And then you just got to listen to Gruden how we found pass rushers.
Yeah, they're hard to find, but we found two. Thanks, Raider Nation. Great things are on the horizon. But anyways, I'm at Glenn Rockney. He's at Fattest Malin. That's it. That's all I got. All right, guys.
All right, man.
Peace.